call this meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ballard?
Here.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes, here.
Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So quite briefly, you guys know we've had some, since our last meeting, we've had some tragedies that have taken place here in our district and in our community. And I know you were at one of the services today, so maybe you could give us a little background on what has happened, and then maybe we can have a moment of silence for Xavier and Kevin.
Yes, two of our students, of course, I think we've seen the news, and we just were there to support the families. And so please keep those two families in your prayers. It's very tragic, especially when young people die. And then depending on the cause of death, makes it more difficult for closure. So you just try and support. No one's trying to keep secrets about what happened, because knowledge about what happened helps us to prevent it from happening again. And these are two deaths that by our human terms we consider preventable. But based on our faith, we just trust and believe that God is never surprised, never caught off guard. And we just kind of trust in that, and that kind of helps us get through the difficult times. So again, if you keep those families in your prayer. The one service was today at Church on the North Coast. Very well attended. Of course, a lot of our students were there to support their friend, their family. And they did an excellent job of representing themselves and articulately talking about their lost loved one. So we were very proud of how they carried themselves, even amongst all that grief. The other service will be on Friday at Faith Ministries Christian Center on Euclid Avenue in Lorain. That's different. This is a homicide. And so there are the things that go along with that. So there are lots of families who are grieving. And so again, the district has represented itself well. Ruben Figueroa has been very active and making sure that the school was updated on things that were going on and other personnel. So again, it's part of our Lorain school family, and we grieve with the loved ones and the friends. So.
And with that, for Mr. Xavier Davis and Kevin Price, I would like to ask you guys for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. So now I would like to suspend the rules and go into executive sessions to talk about a pending legal opinion that we requested. So I need a motion.
Motion to suspend the agenda?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
And a motion to go into executive session for item
C.
C.
It'll be C.
C.
Support.
Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes. Yes. So we're going to go into executive session. We should be no longer than maybe 10 minutes, and we'll be right back out with you all. Thank you. Need a motion from someone to come out of executive?
Oh, okay.
So moved.
Need a
Second.
motion? Second. Roll call.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you. We have our first hearing of the public. You're with?
OSBA.
Oh,
She was
yes,
here
please
last-
come on right
she was
out.
here
Yeah,
last year for
I
our
know.
10-year anniversary.
You're here so much, I thought you were just a normal member. With all these,
I've got enough.
please introduce yourself.
I'm Debbie Melda from OSBA's Northeastern Ohio Executive Committee. And tonight, I'm here to recognize Anthea Demakia for 10 years of service. And that's really a big deal. All of the hard work and the time that goes into being a board member cannot be overlooked. And 10 years, that's a lot. And we thank you for what you've done for the children of your district and the state of Ohio.
But it's just 10 and then the other.
Oh.
Congratulations.
For the record, Mr. Demakia,
Thank you. Yes.
Bill and I are 10 years old, but you're older than us.
I know.
Picture
She
of
wants
you
a
handing,
Oh, okay.
Isn't it 14 years for you or something?
I thought it was 14. Is
Then you-
it 14?
16?
But I
Who's
think-
counting?
18?
I
All
know
that
it's
gray.
more than
Who's
10.
counting? I know, I didn't have it before I got here.
12?
Where do you?
Who's taking
Mike?
pictures? You say you want
One
to
second.
pictures?
I thought you did.
I can do this. I might have to steal this.
Okay,
There's enough of these around, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It'll be all over
Journal has
social
it.
media.
yeah.
He beat us by 2 years. I tell you, I have to leave at quarter to.
You should have a poster.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick. Oh, are you? That's right.
All right, this photo shoot better wrap up pretty quick here.
Like he's crazy.
Good. Is it- Thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else hearing of the public? Seeing none? Need a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Support. Roll call?
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Old business. Is there anything under old business? Seeing
I
none?
guess I just have one question. I know we've been having some conversations, and there was an incident that had occurred down in Columbus that had to do with several of our students and their data being publicly distributed, I guess I can say. And I know we are seeking a legal opinion. Have we done that, and what has been the results of that legal opinion?
We actually do have the legal opinion, and it came back, and the shorts of it all is that there was a probable violation, and we are now thinking on what the next steps are to do with that information.
Okay. Thank you.
If there's anything else in old business? Everybody's clear? Report of the treasurer.
Consider for approval a resolution to approve a CRA agreement among the City of Lorain and Broadway 550 Management LLC.
Is there anyone from the city here or from the management company? Okay, so if you would, I know you've done it, so we need a motion?
Yep, motion and a second to go into vote.
And we can discuss.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Roll call?
Oh, let's
Nope.
discuss.
Discussion.
Got it.
Okay, so this is a tax abatement for a possible business coming into the area, looking to be a restaurant. Some of the information is they're looking to start the process and finish up, I think they're starting it in October, hoping to finish up the renovation for improvements of the building to become a restaurant October, and hopefully finish up by the end of May of 2020. With that being said, the improvement amount, they're roughly estimating at about $500,000. Currently, the value of the property is $110,760. So roughly, the amount of tax dollars we are receiving currently is about $2,020. The improvements, when realized, would be about $9,119. So for the purpose of this tax abatement for the 12 years, we would be looking at that, the amount above and beyond the current value, the current tax dollars we're receiving. So that $9,119 would be the loss for the 12 years of the tax abatement at 100%. So that would be what I would be bringing to you guys for approval. So that $9,119 over 12 years is roughly about $109,000 of the increase. What I do want to emphasize, as I always do with these tax abatements, is it's no lost revenue on the current tax dollars. It's just on the improvement dollars. So,
Right, and that's important. But again, we wouldn't be getting that increased revenue if they did not renovate or put businesses in these vacant buildings that we're getting taxable value on.
Correct.
So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's, smart of us to support these abatements, because in the future, and you look at the long-term fiscal stability of this district, then, we're increasing our revenue in the long term. So that's why a lot of these TIFs are important, not only for the city of Lorain, but also for the school district, because the improvement on those facilities increase our revenue. So I think, long-term, I think it's a good idea.
Not to mention it's the increased tax dollars from this building alone, but the improvements to this one building will have a trickle-down effect to not only the buildings around it, but also the community.
Correct.
So this isn't the Domino's building, that was the building that we did across the street, correct?
That's
Okay.
old Wag Driscoll's.
So the question that I have, just for a point of clarification, I see they're going to build between 20 to 25 new jobs.
Correct.
But what happens if, over the course of this 12 years, let's say at year 5, things don't go so well, and they move out and someone else move in? Does that abatement stick with the improvements for the entire 12 years, or does it start over and that new company would have to reapply?
The new company, I believe, would have to reapply based on the transfer of the property.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's tied to the owner.
very good, thank you.
I think what might be helpful, and we've met with Mr. Given, and they're trying to look at some other municipalities in terms of coming up with some kind of formulary rubric to go by on this stuff. I think at some stage it would be good on the website to post a category about what a TIF is, so that taxpayers can understand what these do. They're only eligible in certain specific designated areas. The benefit that they provide to the district over the long term, and that they're aware of the sacrifice in the short term. That way folks can just kind of at their own leisure if they're interested. Because we've been educated kind of gradually on this, and never, like when we first talked about it, we didn't get all the information in one chunk. So it'd be nice if we could provide a very, a synopsis, something that's not too, lengthy, not like this briefing we've got to read that's, put me to sleep material. But something concise, if that's possible.
Sure.
And then maybe you could reach out to Dan Gibbon at City Hall to help narrate that. And it'd be good to put it on our website, and maybe also the city of Lorain can put it on theirs.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
You have anything further?
I do not.
Anything from the CEO?
I do not.
Why do you always get tickled when I say that? New business, guys. Is there anything in new business? All right. Second hearing from the public. Is there anything else from the public?
Hello, Barbie Washington, Riverside Drive. I just have a question about the legal opinion. There's also names listed on Facebook of kids that have passed the OSTs, I believe it is. Is that appropriate? I feel like it's process of elimination. Like you're sort of saying congrats to these kids, but then it automatically shows you who has not passed the test. So I just wondered, is that appropriate to be put out there?
That's the question that I don't have the answer to, but I will try to find that answer for you and make sure we have it next time.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else from the public? Oh my, we've got the mouthpiece of the city are coming.
Let's go ask that legal opinion.
Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Good evening. My name is Rick Payerchin. A lot of you know me in my capacity as my day job at the Morning Journal. I also am the vice president of the Mary Lee Tucker Clothe the Child Foundation. Mary Lee Tucker Clothe the Child, simply put, we raise money to put winter clothes on the backs of children in need for the winter season. The Journal Jog is our annual fundraiser that we're going to have on August 4th, and just would welcome anybody from the school board, the community. If you'd like to jog, walk, volunteer, donate, it goes, the money stays local. We use volunteer shoppers. Donations go to put clothes on the backs of kids. Everyone is welcome the morning of August 4th. So thank you for your
Thank you for
consideration.
that.
Where are you holding that at?
That is thank you for asking. That is at Black River Landing, downtown Lorain, a little bit off Broadway. Our course will wind through, we're not going to be on Broadway for the run. The walking and the jogging course will kind of wind zigzag a little bit up, I believe, Washington and Reed, and go up to West Erie Avenue, circle back around on like Oberlin Avenue and First Street, and we begin and end, excuse me, begin and end at Black River Landing.
And what time does it start?
9 a.m., August
9 a.m.
4th. Thank you, though.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It'll be the journal walk for me.
That's a lot of territory to cover.
It's a journal walk.
I like
Is
drive
there-
along.
Is there anything else, any other further hearings from the public? Hearing none. I guess we need to just get our schedule for our next scheduled board meeting. And did you have, I'm sorry.
Are you going to give any information about what happened last time that they went down to Columbus? How well things were handled? Just a summary.
From which portion? I think that would probably be from you, because I like got a condo in Columbus anymore. Please.
Which particular time? Let's see, the last time was about a week or so ago. I don't know if it was any real different than the previous times. I mean, you
It was a
had.
different committee, wasn't it?
It was,
It was finance.
Yes.
yes,
finance
and it spoke to Peggy Lehner's Senate bill, I believe. And from what I've gathered since that meeting, I don't believe there's any of that language in the current plausible budget that they're going to be in committee this week to discuss. So there were people on both sides that stated their perspectives and viewpoints, and I guess we'll find out this week really what the result of that in the last month or so is. President Ballard issued, I mean, the trips to Columbus have been numerous and many, so I think, as the phraseology is, it's coming to the finish line, so we're going to find out very shortly what the results of those things are, so.
And Senator Feder is holding a press conference on Wednesday?
Tomorrow
Is that
morning
correct?
at 10. Tomorrow morning at 10, I'll be back down there. We'll be speaking from there's a press conference in room 109 at the State House. And then I think there's going to be a rally on the outside of the Senate steps with OEA and OFT and a bunch of the other labor unions within the state and some of the other school districts. So that will take place on tomorrow morning. And they are in conference at this point in time. And our main thing about the conference, of course, is House Bill 70, 166, 110, and all the things.
And what's the timeline still just about?
Sunday, right?
Yes.
Sunday.
Moving
It has to be.
quite rapidly.
It has to be done by July 1.
If it stays in
It
the
has to go
budget.
into effect July 1, it has to be done June 30.
If it stays in the
Yes.
budget, correct. That's a budget
A
issue.
week from today, we'll know.
Yep.
Yes. Is there anything further? So now, so we have a conflict. Our next scheduled meeting would be on the 9th, correct?
Correct.
But you actually may have a conflict on that day. So do we want to do a treasurer?
Monday the 8th?
You want to do, can you do, no, you're going to 8th and the
I'd be
9th.
going
We'd have to
8th
go
and 9th.
Wednesday. But it's pretty important because depending on what happens tonight,
And I'll be gone. I leave on the 9th.
so you'll be back the following week? So you'll be back the
Yeah.
following Tuesday? So maybe we can do a special meeting, what's that, following
16th?
Tuesday? 16th.
And we have the 23rd, which is our regularly scheduled, so it'd be 16, we have them back to back.
Okay, we got a lot of work to cover.
Okay.
And I guess I would just add, there's going to have to be a process, Mallory, that we go through if things happen tonight that possibly will happen, there may become a vacancy. So could you just get the board some information on the proper next steps for us to fill that vacancy, so we're making sure that we're on proper
Sure.
timeline?
What I'd like to do, we'll see how things go tonight,
Mhm.
I suppose. And then if you want to get in touch with me tomorrow,
Mhm.
we'll get a process in order.
Okay, very good, thank you. And with that? yes, sir?
Yeah, with that being said, considering this could potentially be my last meeting on the Board of Education, I just want to personally say that it has been a complete honor serving with all of you guys. I know, Yvonne, you're young to the group, and, the rest of us have spent a lot of great years serving on this board, and I tell a lot of people that, we have been a very high-functioning and a very organized Board of Education in outside of House Bill 70 and that cloud. I think we've made some great progress in this district, and again, I consider you guys some of my closest friends because we spent a lot of time together, and I can't thank you enough for allowing me this opportunity, as well as the voters of Lorain to give me 3 terms on the Board of Education has been a complete honor, and I'm very thankful. It's bittersweet because I really have enjoyed my time here, and the work that we've done, and I love this school district, and I know better days are coming, but I just want to be clear in that I'm still not going to be absent from you guys. I'm still going to be around and still stay involved because I think that it is extremely important that we continue that work, whether I'm there or here. I think it is only going to solidify our opportunity to work more closely with the city of Lorain and our taxpayers and help to continue to move this district forward. So again, thank you all for so many great years. It's been awesome. It really has been. So thank you.
Thank you. Anything? Any remarks?
Can I say something just because we messed up the agenda? Is that okay?
Please.
Please. Thank you.
Yes, you're fine.
Mr. Damaki, I just wanted to thank you. We needed your voice in this fight, and I truly appreciate everything that you've done. I wish you the best at council, and we'll look forward to hearing your strong voice over there as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll have something to say after it's official. And so this can't be your last meeting. I think when we take our next step forward, it would be most appropriate if you were here with us. If this goes like we would desire, you will be the next appointment to council at large, which gives you a head start on what you're going to be elected into in November. And but the work that you've done here is highly appreciated, and we want to be able to take the time to speak that and articulate that with clarity and thoughtfulness. So we will make sure that you are invited back to that meeting.
Awesome.
Yeah, buddy,
Yeah.
friend, comrade.
Yeah. Thank you.
You've always been here, so I can't really imagine you not until you are not there, But I know like you said, we did a lot financially for this district that most people will never know. Some people have called us criminal. Okay, but when you handle $28 million in debt, and you don't have a choice. We've made some hard decisions, and we've come back to. We were at a point when this all in 15, and in 17, we were at a point where we were ready to move forward, and I really think that this board was a big part of that.
No question.
Good. And I'll just say, go ahead, Mel.
I would like to say thank you for the wonderful learning curve, because there was a lot that you had to teach me, and I do appreciate it, even on the computer.
And I'll just say, I'm more of the balancing act. So in a pendulum, we always need a balancing of all sides. So I've always appreciated your passion and your fire and aggressiveness, and allowing me to be the counterweight to that sometime and try to bring balance to this whole thing. But your presence here has been amazing, man. Appreciate it. And like Tim says, we will say more as we go into the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
The one thing I can say for council is they'll always know where you stand.
Even if it's on Broadway.
And I would just say, working as an appointed member of the board, as the ADC, it's been a pleasure to work with you as well. And the phone calls and the talks and just the time that you've put into trying to help make Lorain City Schools better, I appreciate that as a teacher, and the staff does as well. So thank you.
Keep that passion everywhere you go, buddy. It's contagious. for
We
sure.
got one,
Button
Yeah.
turns red and boom,
I only got one speed.
Yeah, that's right.
fastball.
It's contagious.
Could you announce the meeting again
For the
for the
16th,
next?
16.
the 16th at 5 o'clock in this room. And with that, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
no.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
How could I expect anything different?
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for
I knew
coming.
it was coming.
One last time.
I was thinking it when he said it.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.